Got it. 5:30.
Got that in my phone. Just not, that doesn't come up.
About 5:30. 5:30 on the button. Let's go, Mayor. Call this meeting to order, the Oak Hill City Council for February 14th, 2022. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
I found a cheat. Mayor Daniel E. Wright,
Here.
Tom Oxley,
Here.
Diana Janey,
Here.
David Perry,
Present.
Krista Hodges,
Here.
Steve Hazlett,
Here.
Charles Smallwood Jr.,
Here.
Benitez Jackson.
Here. Did you call Mr. Hazlett?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Hazlett doing by Zoom?
He is.
Okay. So
Can
we're
you
all,
hear me?
yes, sir.
We can.
So we're all here?
Good.
All right. The invocation tonight will be offered by the Reverend Charles Schmuck, pastor of the Oak Hill Gospel Tabernacle, with the Pledge of Allegiance, then led by Council Member Hazlett.
Before I do the invocation, Mr. Perry asked that we lift up one of your council member has a mother-in-law who needs some prayer for health, excuse me. So if we'll add that into the prayer, but join me as we pray. Lord, we thank you. We come before you this evening as a community, as representatives of the community, as the city council. We lift up one of the members with his mother-in-law in prayer that you would be with her, that you would bring her health, help her with her health issues, and guide the doctors as they treat her. Lord, I ask that you be with this community, that you continue to protect us and bless this community and give us opportunities that we need to better each other and better ourselves. And Lord, finally, I ask that you be with the council members, that you guide and direct them, that they make the best decisions that they can to benefit the folks in this community, so that we can have as many blessings as possible and lift each and every single person here up, lift each other up and edify each other. Lord, we pray these things and we praise your holy name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion regarding the reading of the minutes? I would move that the minutes be accepted as having been presented to council prior to. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Properly moved and second. The minutes be accepted as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The motion's agreed to, 7-0. We move now to the treasurer's report. Is there a motion regarding that?
I'll make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded, the treasurer's report be accepted as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The motion's agreed to, 7-0. Any correspondence, Madam Clerk?
I'm not aware of any, sir.
Citizens' comments? Do we have a list? Thank you. We have one, Janine Robinson from Destination Downtown.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hope you guys are doing well. There's not much to report. We just had a couple things on the financials this time. We're still working on projects. Of course, it's winter time, so outdoor projects are a little hard at this point, but we have plans in the works for as soon as the weather gets prettier. Lots of things hopefully to help beautify and improve the town, as well as events that we plan on having. Any questions?
Are you planning to be active again this year? Correct?
Yes.
Because we know we'll be going to our funding packages here real soon. I don't know the dates, maybe if Demita's on the line, maybe she can tell us. It'll probably be sometime this month.
Okay.
Mayor, I have a question,
Yes, sir.
and I respect and appreciate what Destination, why a monthly report? Since we were told that we really don't have any, that they are a self-entity. I mean, I think it's good, and I appreciate it and respect it, but am I making sense? Not usually not.
Well, I think because we asked 2 months ago for one, maybe it just felt like they needed to keep us in the loop. No harm, no foul.
I think we've always presented a monthly report to council just because we've asked for money.
And I understand.
So that we want everybody to be aware of what we're doing, and hopefully people are watching and want to come out and volunteer and help.
I guess, the other part is we make monies available to everyone else, and they're not giving a monthly report. And we have condensed our monthly reports to ask for it to be in writing with our maintenance and that. But anyway, I'll just ask that question. Maybe we consider getting it written in the future. And this is in writing too, and verbal. I understand
Sure.
you're here to answer questions, so
Sure.
that's just a comment.
That would be fabulous from our side of the world.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And if you got it there, probably the clerk could include it in the mailings to us.
That's the only citizens' request for comment. We now move to department reports and council member comments. The department reports those are being sent in written form now, aren't they?
Yes.
So is there any questions of the department heads based on your report that you've already read?
I have several comments or questions.
All right.
Number one, this would be with the police report. And this wasn't in the report, the mobile signs, have they been installed and the one that wasn't working replaced?
They have. They're both operational. One is on,
Don't tell me where.
I'm going to tell you anyway, just
Oh,
so
okay.
you know. One is currently on Woods Avenue and one is on Minden Road.
Thank you.
They're working well.
The other thing we talked about is, I don't know where it came from. I looked at it wrong or right, but I certainly appreciate the report that I received from the auditor's office. I think I didn't misread it. That was attached, one of the attachments. But with that said, let me also say, Chief, I would compliment whatever officer was on Saturday at 10:17. I looked for the name and the badge and all that, but we were moving rather quick, but he was very professional and very polite. But that was 10/17 Saturday,
AM or PM?
AM.
AM.
Yes.
Where at?
Across from the car wash at Fayetteville.
Okay, I'll check.
And that's a compliment.
Okay, I'll
Pass that along.
will.
That's all I have on that one. Fire department. I would like for the chief to go over just a little bit, please. The training requirements that the firemen have to go through yearly, please, to become certified, and or what they have to go through to become a certified fireman. If he has the information available for all our benefits. Maybe the rest of you guys know, but I know in the legislature it's quite extensive.
Well, you being in the legislature, you should know what the requirements are because the legislature sets them. Number one.
I thought that's a fire marshal, but since I didn't pay attention to that, would you
Yes, sir.
reiterate for me,
The-
please,
the-
chief?
The initial training for fire departments to become a certified firefighter is referred to as firefighter 1, firefighter 2, hazmat, CPR, first aid. You have to, with the times we have now, the in-person classes have been pushed to the side. They're a blended class they refer to, where you might have one class and the rest of it is online. But you do your practicals, like our fire service training here at Fayette County, where you do live burns. All that is followed and scrutinized by the State Fire Marshal's Office and the State Fire Commission.
And yearly, a fireman is required to do how many CEs?
Well,
Or do you
it's
refer to them as
at least 6 a month.
6 a month?
Mhm. So continuing hours.
yeah.
Yes,
How many total hours would that be, Tim,
32 hours a year.
for each fireman?
Yes, sir.
And that is during their Tuesday night meetings or apart from, or either or
It,
what?
it can be your Tuesday night meeting. It can be classes that you sign up for, like the regional fire training classes. They have them at Sissonsville, Pipe Stem, different departments have those. But the good thing about Fayette County right now is we're going to be a home for fire service training with our new training center that's on Golly Mountain.
So that still takes personal time
Yes, sir, it does.
from them and their families, and they are not remunerated for that.
No, sir. Their expenses are covered, but they are not paid. No, sir, they're not.
And I'll ask you to repeat that. How many hours? Basically
Uh,
32
About 6 hours a month, which comes up about 32 hours.
a year.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And a lot of that, Mr. Perry, would be in-service training within our department. It might be hazmat. It might be actual fire training. It could be auto extrication. There's a wide variety of things that we train on every Tuesday night, except the second Tuesday of the month, which is our business meeting.
Thank you. That was what I was interested in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. City Manager,
Mhm.
thank you for your brief condensed report. And these are just follow-up things in the past. And I'm intended to look for myself, but I didn't make it down there. Has the Gary Harding, Linda Harding City Park sign gone up yet?
Yeah, it has.
It is up, okay. I compliment you on the action I see you've taken relevant to the city street lights for LED lights where you followed up where I said there's 2 or 3 missing and you went above and beyond. So I compliment you on that. Do you have a expected response date on that, or?
Probably within the next 2 to 3 months.
I did read that right? Thank you, thank you. BOAD, have we heard any more about BOAD for the house on Euler?
I had a discussion with BOAD and they are planning to demolish the structure that's beside Mr. Pino. And are very encouraged that the city of Oak Hill has agreed to take both of the properties that was in question.
Thank you for that follow-up. That's encouraging to see that thing gone before spring.
I don't know, they didn't put a time on that. They didn't put a time on when they would get it, but they said they would.
The other thing, and I've held several conversations with, is it Family Dollar down here with that pothole they left? And I think you and I went down there, we visited it. Can we send them some letter that would encourage that they take care of that?
Mhm.
Especially since they built a new building and paved a nice big lot down in Glen Jean.
Right.
Is that doable?
Yeah, I can do that. There's several, it comes up from time to time. There's several lots in Oak Hill that are privately owned that aren't in good condition. And I it amazes me. We've talked about it before. I think it's, that's your customer base that has to drive
Yeah.
across that, so.
I'm just talking about that ditch line they left there that goes down towards the swimming club. Be nice if they did do the whole lot, but anyway, like I said, I've had several communications with the mayor down there. And I haven't had a chance to get back, but if we'd follow up with a letter, please, does that sound doable and you're willing to do that?
Sure.
Thank you, Bill. The last thing, a couple of months ago, I brought up the lights between Chase Bank and the mural down there. It's still dark. I went to Chase Bank. I've talked to 2 people and I didn't make it back. And I intended to go today before the council meeting. You know, the black-haired lady over there, what's her name? Got the long hair?
Jamie Hill.
Jamie Hill. And she was supposed to have found out something definitive for me. So I just call that to attention and hopefully I'll get back with her and see if they're going to take care of their due diligence. Because my understanding, and I could be wrong, and please correct me if I am, that it was a quid pro that they would do the lighting when the city granted them permission to move the street, as I can understand.
Yeah, that was before my time. I can
Right.
tell you.
Certainly before my time, but that's what I understand. in talking to some people. Tom may know that, I don't know.
I don't recall any such arrangement, no.
But I know that they definitely have taken care of the lights in the past, or Steve may know. If
No,
not, I thought if not, someone might, let me get back with them. And then if not, I think we need to make some kind of arrangements to see if that area is lit. Please, but I'll get back with you, Mr. Manager.
Okay.
That's all I have. Short and sweet.
I have question for the fire chief. We were talking about those continuing education units. What happens if some of your firemen don't take those units or stay current? Are they dropped or are they given probationary time to get it done or what?
They're given an opportunity to catch up. It could be family concerns, it could be sickness. Like I stated, the times that we live in now, it's a lot of classes are being canceled.
Mhm.
A lot of times we don't have actual classes at our fire department because of those reasons. But yes, they are given opportunities to catch numbers.
Okay.
One other thing, Mayor, I forgot.
Yes, go ahead.
Is our economic coordinator going to give us a report? Yes, no, maybe, not tonight. If not, could she give us kind of a little summation in a written report monthly? Let me say this, I have met with her for about an hour. I have talked to some other councilmen and she is on the ball. She's way ahead of us, what I'm sensing in terms of the thought process and what she's going to entertain and some of the ideas she has. So if you had an opportunity to visit with her, hear from her, guys, she's knows what she's doing. So that's a compliment. And with the compliment is a slap. Would you please give us a monthly report, a little short one, about the many things that you're up to, please?
All right, that's for next month then, isn't it? for
Yes.
her? All right.
And Mayor, thank you for the happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, thank you.
I'll share that with my wife without your name.
He'll peel that off. He'll peel that little.
That's
peel it
right.
off the front.
That's right.
Yeah. I have to call her later to see how that went over. Regarding the speed monitoring signs, Chief, I see it very well every time I leave my driveway. I'm up to 1 mile an hour. I'm being careful. see it every day. In fact, some people have called me and claimed I was the one that got it put on there just to get them. And I said, I had nothing to do with it. So I've been accused of it, but that I did it to nail people who they claim weren't speeding. But there are some people who fly down that street quite often. So thank you.
Well, Mayor, if you recall, we've had complaints several times and mentioned it to the chief, so
That's true.
it's a
If you
good
ever wanna
target
see it,
area. It's a good target area.
come on down Woods, take a peek, folks. Right there on that pole. You can see it
I'm
right on
glad
the,
you warned me.
right on the corner of Lavender and Woods. You'll see it right there.
And although there's no report from the street department, I would compliment our street department.
Yes, I do too.
And I saw them out doing something out of state police headquarters a couple weeks ago.
They're always doing something.
Digging.
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Okay.
So, like I said, with the snow and so forth.
Yep.
It appears like they're ahead of it too.
They are.
So I say compliments on that. That's all.
For sure. Any council comments from at large, Mr. Oxley?
None.
Anyone else in Ward 2 over there?
No. Oh, I mean,
None? Mr. Smallwood, do you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'd like to thank you for the written proclamation and setting up the lecture series for Black History Month. This past Saturday, we had a world-renowned speaker,
We did.
Reverend Ron English, who served as a ministerial assistant to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Senior.
Mm.
Also, we had attendance from other council members from other municipalities. Great job.
Thank you, Mr. Smallwood. It was, and during this, I've always given the city council credit, saying that the city council voted 7-0 to set up the series and council voted 7-0 for the funding. So every one of these lectures, every one of these lectures during the series, I've always made sure that the council gets due credit for being proactive on this whole issue. And thank you, Mr. Smallwood. Yes, we had council person from Beckley over here at the meeting, this lecture on Saturday. And I would strongly urge you to attend if you can. We have 2 more speakers. Next Saturday will be Dr. Brucella Jordan from Anstead. She will talk about Ida B. Wells, an early African-American woman who was active in so many things. If you read her biography, you're just amazed that one person could do all that. But Dr. Jordan will tell us some things about Ida B. Wells this coming Saturday at 6. And then they will finish out on the 26th with Reverend Matthew Watts, who was extremely active person in just about everything in the Kanawha Valley. And he is a native, he's a Fayette County man from over near Mount Hope. That's where he's from originally. So I would strongly urge everyone, if they possibly can, 6 o'clock this coming Saturday. And then that's the 19th and the one on the 26th. I think you will be well worth your time, I think, to listen to these people and listen to some concepts, some ideas that we never heard about before. It gives us a better understanding, I think, of everyone's part of America. So thank you, Mr. Smallwood. Any other comments? All right, we'll move over to Ward 1. Anything over here?
I'll just echo Mr. Smallwood's remarks because I've been at both and
Yeah.
and it's very informative and it's worth your time if you have the opportunity to come out to listen to these speakers. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Any others?
Nothing, Mayor.
All right. Mr. Perry? Are you telling me you don't have any comments?
I jumped the gun.
You better go where you got to go.
Well, on second thought.
Keep going.
I hope the minutes reflect this. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Perry. All right, down to mayoral comments. I just have a few. Some of them have already been talked about regarding the Black History Month events that I've already discussed. There are many people who've helped make this possible. Rhonda Falk here has helped and designed and worked on the program, and our coordinator of economic development, Erin Reed, has done so very much to make this happen with her public relations skills. And she's done about everything you could think of regarding helping put this together. City manager Bill Hannabass has been very helpful in doing all the technical Zoom and live stream and those kinds of things for the program as well. And for those who have attended, also Valerie Bond helped out doing some technical things there Saturday night. And I don't know if I've missed anyone. If I have, I'm sorry, but I think that those are some of the people who've been at the forefront in working on this program, this series. By the way, Reverend English, who Mr. Smallwood pointed out, had been an aide, a ministerial assistant to Martin Luther King, senior and junior, and to Andrew Young and to Julian Bond. You name a civil rights leader, Reverend English had a connection to him some way or the other. Which I think was quite amazing. Had someone locally who could talk about these people, who knew them well and worked with them over the years. So I hope that you can show up, and I appreciate those who've already been here. I hope others will show. Oak Hill I represent the city of Oak Hill at the Fayette County Spelling Bee as one of the judges. And I did the New River Intermediate first, and then I went about a month later to do the county spelling bee. I think it was held at the Calvary Baptist Church. I think Mrs. Swisher and Cindy Ray were the two leaders in that program. And that was well worth the time and effort to watch those little ones spell. And one other thing, Mr. Hannibas, and this will be it for me. I was driving down Mayfair Avenue the other day, and there's a pile of trash in a yard there, brush and scrap lumber that must be 10 feet high. And it's just, it's quite an eyesore. You may know about it, maybe you don't. It's on Mayfair. You know what I'm talking about there, Mr. Kirk. It's pretty sad. It looks really bad. Burn. And just.
Yeah, near the bank drive-through, or?
On down the street, on
Mayfair.
Okay.
It's one of the guy had the chimney still standing.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
Yeah, he come last year,
Took it down.
Both come back and finished
Yeah.
cleaning.
It looks pretty bad.
It's not.
No, he hasn't touched it. So they could take a look at
I
that.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Take a look at that. Oh, I will say one thing. Oak Hill got a notice on NPR, National Public Radio. They picked up on these speaker series, and they talked about it. Someone called me and said, I'll be there at 6 o'clock. And I said, how'd you find out about it? And I said, it was in the paper, on the radio. He says, oh, I heard on NPR. He said, that's how I found out about it. So he said, I'll be there. So that's how I know NPR did a little series. Oh, so you know it too, Mr. Reed. So Oak Hill got us some good recognition there on the NPR. All right. I have only 1 minute from the minutes. September the 8th, 1941, the Oak Hill City Council. Whereas the parking meter system hereinafter provided for is to be installed within the business section of the city for the purpose of regulating and improving congested traffic conditions, which have become dangerous to the users of the streets and highly unsatisfactory to the public, which conditions are gradually becoming worse with the increase in the use of automobiles and the growth of the population of the city and surrounding territory. So that's when parking meters came to Oak Hill, September 8th, 1941. I don't know when they were here in the 70s, weren't they? You know when they left?
I don't recall, but it was probably early 80s.
80s sometime? Well, they came, so they lasted 40 some years. So they were put in Oak Hill September of 41. So now we know, if you're interested, when parking meters came to Oak Hill. If you're not interested, I just threw it out there in passing. Which now moves us to unfinished business.
Mayor, I would move that we approve items 1 and 2 jointly as recommended for classification changes rather than doing them separately.
All right, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
that. Properly moved and seconded that items 1 and 2 be taken together for a motion and a second in action. All right, let's vote the motion to accept those. Is there, those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to accept 1 and 2 as one particular motion and vote. All right. Number 1 is Planning Commission recommendation to change land classification from B2 General Business District to BR Recreation Business District on 1,500 acres located in Minden, second reading, And 2, Planning Commission recommendation to change land classification from R2 medium density residential district to B2 general business on 1.11 acres located at 3023 East Main Street, owned by BM and W Properties LLC. Second reading. Is there a motion regarding these two?
So moved.
There's second.
Second.
I thought my original motion covered that.
Well, I don't remember.
That was the intent,
Well,
but that's okay.
I thought it did too, because
Huh?
I voted.
Yeah, I voted thinking we'd approved it.
well, I did too. If I could vote.
So let's let that
All right.
vote stand.
Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to. 7-0. Move to number 3, examination of demolition report of residential structure located at 219 Highland Avenue, map 38, parcel 5, owned by Damon McDowell and Deanna Lawson. Mr. Hannabas.
Okay, I trust that everyone read the report in their packet. I can pull it up on the screen if I need to. I'm scrolling through photographs of the house before it was demolished, and this is the house after it was demolished. So that's really, I think it's self-explanatory.
I move we accept the examination of demolition report prepared for us.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0. Number 4, consideration to adopt a resolution to lay an assessment lien on property located at 1119 Minden Road, map 27, and parcel 18, owned by Ace Adventure. Is there a motion regarding that?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion, Mayor.
And properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0. We go to number 4, consideration to adopt a resolution to lay an assessment lien on property located at 1119 Minden Road. I've already done that one, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay, number 5, bid opening for demolition of scout cabin. Mr. Hannabas.
Okay. I've received 3 sealed bids that I'm opening now. First bid is from John League,
League or leg?
League,
Oh,
like
okay.
baseball league.
Gotcha.
For the scout cabin, $13,800, John League. The next bid document is from Reclaim LLC. And the amount is $28,180. $28,180. The third bid document is from Empire Salvage. $7,500.
Is that all of them?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, I move we accept the Empire salvage at $7,500.
I'll second that motion.
And properly moved that we accept Empire Salvage's bid of $7,500 to demolish the scout cabin. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0. Now, Mr. Hannabas, in that demolition, I would suggest that we have some really good pictures taken of the building before such demolition. for historic purposes, that we have a really good set of pictures, the front, back, sides, and possible any of the inside. We know it's pretty dark, but for historic archival reasons for this building.
When do you plan on being down there?
You have a camera? You have a camera?
How about an aerial view?
I think we need to keep the pictures of that and have some history of that building, because so many
There you
people
go.
talk about, that's a good one.
Is the plaque still in there? The Jackie E. Wright plaque?
Got
Yes, it
It's-
was.
It's here in City
Oh.
Hall.
Oh, is it?
I haven't told the mayor yet, but it's here in City Hall.
Thank you. And I think Mr. Perry and I discussed this or brought this up in a meeting, that some of this be set aside for the alumni to sell as a fundraiser for people interested.
We've arranged that.
Okay, good. I think
I'm trying to get you home for the Antique Roadshow, Mayor.
I'll make it. I got 2 hours.
You on top of it, Mr. City
Nothing
Manager.
says you have to use all those 2 hours.
Well, I can gerrymander for an hour and a half.
Okay.
I can leave.
The next item, Mayor, under unfinished business, item number 6 is appoint a committee to select qualified organization to submit proposals to produce building and design guidelines, artistic renditions of selected structures. This is a plan we've talked about for some time on Main Street, B1. This is, I think most everybody's familiar. This section of town is B1 from to the East End Bridge for architectural designs. So we have requested proposals, requests for qualifications, very similar to requests for proposals.
From,
Council did that
I understand from, you've requested proposals from whom or what?
from firms that have architectural and design, landscape architectures, those type of folks.
So we're talking about facelifts.
Talking about
Proposed face-
facelifts,
possible
what- yeah,
facelifts.
commonality, design work on Main Street, and it's been talked about for
Number of
some
years.
time.
Right.
Yes, sir. And council addressed it in December. So, and this is much like the RFP process that Mr. Perry and me and Day and the mayor and Mr. Bragg are going through now for consulting firms for other projects. So, and if council wishes, I'm always willing to volunteer for those, but
How many members? Committee,
would-
3 to 5?
I would suggest either 3 or 5. 3 is probably better, but that's up to council.
Are these council members or council members and community people?
They can be community people. They don't have to be council members.
So not to sound contradictory, I'd rather see 5, which may be a broader representation. If we
Right.
possibly have 5 that would want to. consult.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's just a little bit, I
Understand.
think we all recognize
Getting them together.
what
and so
Ms.
forth.
Falk went through to get
Right.
3 people per proposal together. So, but other than that, it's okay.
I'd like to submit the name of Adam Hodges to serve on that committee with his background.
I'd like to submit the name of Kevin Willis, since he's done such an outstanding job in East End with the ice cream shop and the DTE and the job he's done out there. That's 2. And I'd like to see our economic development coordinator be part of that, representing the council, since she has a vision with some of the programs that she's talking about. I think that would be part of her domain as well. Could be. One more thing to do. If that's agreeable with council.
I like it.
think, as he mentioned, Bill Hannibas would be a good one on that too. So we need probably one more. I can't even spell architecture.
Obviously, you want to be
No,
one?
How about Dave Perry? You want to be on it? Oh,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Ah.
One more thing. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Tess.
you're retired.
Only if you win the state championship.
That's not going to happen, but we're going to work to it.
But I hear you're going to Marshall coaching. I heard that
No,
today.
no.
So help me, I did.
That's not happening either.
Okay, I'm going to read these 5 names, and if council's in agreement or want to discuss others, Adam Hodges, Kevin Willis, Aaron Reed, myself, Bill Hannabas, David Perry.
It's myself and Bill Hannah is at 2.
I get 2 votes.
Yeah.
That's okay. I move we
Twins.
accept the appointment of the committee as identified by the city manager.
Second.
I'll third.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded and third that we accept the committee to be made up of Adam Hodges, Kevin Willis, Aaron Reed, Bill Hannabas, Dave Perry. Is there any discussion?
I just got one thing. Does Adam and Kevin, do they accept the nominations or we're just?
That there's no
or we're-
such thing. in
There's
this
no,
group. No, there's no.
oh, okay. Or it's just kind of like you're on it. Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Voluntold, yeah.
You know, this accept thing, that's,
Yeah, Tez.
I'm okay with that.
Let them
I guess
select
they'll
the chair.
pick their own.
He thinks he's coaching.
All right, we vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. Motion's agreed to. Those are the 5 new members of the organization to submit proposal to produce building design guidelines and artistic renditions of selected structures in Oak Hill. We now move to a new business. No.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. And I'm going to take a minute or less to explain this. As you see on the screen, consideration of Vernon Miller's request. Actually, it's a request of Cora Miller. That's Vernon's sister. He's power of attorney for. And there's a resolution in your packet and also letters that went to 4 members of the Laurel Ridge LTD that also border this public right of way. The certified letters have gone out. I do not have the return receipt. However, I spoke with Mary Flint today. They are in agreement. I got that verbally. This does take two readings. And so I feel comfortable in advising council, you can go ahead and have the first reading, or you can table it, but I would feel comfortable with the first.
Mayor, I move we accept the first reading contingent upon the second reading having received the receipts for the mailings.
I'll second that motion.
Properly moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Those
Aye.
opposed, no. The motion is agreed to 7-0. Number 8, semi-monthly council meetings consideration. Mr. Hannabas, are you speaking on that or someone council?
This is entirely up to council, and I'm not sure who brought it up, but
Mr.
this is a
Hazlett did.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Mr. Hazlett brought it up and then it's been brought up here a second time.
I think Mr. Smallwood brought it up.
He brought it up too. Okay. I know Mr. Hazlett did a couple of years, maybe. year ago.
Steve's still on there?
Yes, I did, Mayor. I brought that up back. We were dealing with a bunch of abandoned houses at the time, and I thought that may be a way that we could move things along quicker throughout the month if we met twice a month. And I know sometimes you can get a heavy agenda, and it may seem like it may ease some of the council meetings if it's split up into 2 monthly meetings.
Let me remind council that to do what you're suggesting takes a charter amendment. It's not simply an ordinance.
Right.
So we would have to.
So how's the charter ordinance handled, Tom?
Well, similar to an ordinance, but unlike an ordinance, if there is opposition, the only way to follow through is by election.
Opposition from whom?
Anyone who's a citizen of this city.
Do we have the language? I mean, I'm sure you can provide
It's
it.
in the state code. Yeah.
It is. Do you have the citation?
Chapter 8.
Could you provide it?
No,
Would you? Where would you suggest we get that?
Chapter 8.
Where-
Demita has the code books in her office.
I can provide that. for
Yeah,
you.
it-
To
it's-
change
it
the
tells you
charter,
how
it's
to-
not-
How you do a charter for a community,
It's a
how you
city,
dissolve one, how you amend the charter.
it's a citywide election.
It's not, it probably for an attorney, it's simple, but it's not
Costs
for
you
me.
about, I don't know, I think 30,000.
Do what?
So
Yeah, to have
So
an
do we
election.
have
Oh.
an opinion for ourselves though? on
Oh, yeah, you,
council?
anybody, council,
I
just,
I don't care. I mean, I don't wish to do two meetings.
I don't either.
At all.
I'd never guessed that.
No.
Well, I personally do,
'Cause I-
and I do for several, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Diane.
You go ahead.
No. It's Valentine's Day.
I mean, we've started the meetings now an hour earlier. And I just feel like some of this stuff can be done outside of council. 'Cause
Amen.
Only things we need to bring into council are things that need to be voted on. So questions or this or that, I think we can go directly to that person or request, if you want a paper document or something like that. I just think we're redundant on some of the things that we're doing. And we get all that in our packet, which is very time consuming. I know. I mean, that's what you spend your hours on a lot, isn't it? So to do 2 evenings, I just think that's another evening that's really not necessary. We can get it done, what we need to do, if we stick to the agenda.
What-
Thanks.
My question is, can we even take a vote on it, or do we need to table it until we figure out?
But you can take a vote on whether to
Motion.
move forward with. But then there's a publication about the charter, then that's when opposition occurs. Your only choice after that, I believe, is an election. And you could do it with the regular municipal election, I believe, also. Again, I'm not an attorney, but I do know it requires an election if there's opposition.
Okay.
But there's
You know, let me
nothing-
say
nothing
this.
says you can't move forward.
Obviously, Mr. Hazlett was around long before I was, or am. Mr. Smallwood's been here. I have noticed since January, all of us complain about the length of the meetings. I have also noticed that we tend to shorten deliberation as a result of trying to get business done and get out of here. I also feel this, and I've said this every meeting. We represent the citizens of Oak Hill, and we need to be as transparent as we can be with all issues. And I don't think there's any issue that any council member chooses to bring up here that shouldn't be brought up. We were all elected. Sometimes it gets sticky, and I caution and don't question, but I caution it too often. And it's been suggested, take these to city manager, take these to police chief, blah, 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 blah. Some of these matters need to be brought public. Not all, and I have tried to do what you suggested, Mr. Oxley, and it's been beneficial. But I still think, again, I'm repeating myself, we all tend to rush it. We all tend to talk about the length of the agenda. And further, I would ask that we seek Bill Fowles' opinion as to what process we need to follow.
I've told you what process. You
Well,
can waste a phone call to Bill Fowle, but I know what I'm talking about.
Tom,
You're talking about Councilman Smallwood and Councilman Hazlett. I've been here 30-some years, so I do know what I'm talking about in that respect about the charter.
and I didn't question you.
Okay,
You said repeatedly, I am not a lawyer.
right.
You said that. So I would just like to see the direction or directive in print from either an attorney or Demita. That's all I'm saying. I'm not questioning what you say or what you advocated for. But also, since you said 30 years, 30 years later, we're in a different world. Things are different. It's changing. Do I want any more meetings? I've got enough, but I still feel we owe it to the public, the transparency, and we owe it to ourselves as we have complained about the length of meetings. So I'm for it.
Can I make a comment? Yes. I don't know. You can take my suggestion or not. I would, just me personally, I don't have a problem with 2 meetings a month, but because I'm one of the people that complain about the agenda. But I would also say we've made some changes to the agenda format that I don't think we've allowed time to work either. So my only concern would be, and we don't know about the chart. I mean, Tom knows, but we still got to get some information from Bill Fat, whatever we need to do. Me personally, I would like to see us table it until we get more, until we see if this format works. And if it doesn't, if we're still in here 4 or 5 hours, then I think we need to revisit that. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, we're halfway through we're about 30 minutes out from being out of here now, probably. And we've only been here about not even an hour yet. So I don't know. I mean, that's just my suggestion.
I agree with Benitez. We have improved the efficiency of our meetings. Is that going to continue? I hope so. But I know one time you mentioned it was 8 o'clock and we hadn't even got into the agenda. So I agree this has helped tremendously.
But it also depends on the number of speakers also. You have a lot of speakers, it's gonna take more time.
3 minutes apiece,
Yeah.
but it goes up well over 3 minutes. You
Yes,
know,
it
3
does.
minutes is the
So that's
policy.
one reason I am for
Yeah.
2 meetings a month.
Instead of holding those speakers to 3 minutes,
No,
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 no.
no.
it's not long if speakers speak 3 minutes or less.
I'd like to hear Mr. Hazlett's position.
I can agree, Mr. Perry, with you and Tez both. And this is my opinion on it. Then the speaking the 3 minutes is fine, limiting someone to give their point, but then you have 6, 7 members of council that may want to weigh in on that as well. I struggle to get ready for the meeting and be there once a month. I do. It's tough with the kids and the wife's work schedule. I can see that. Maybe if and I can also see the point that if we have 2 meetings a month, you know, we are here to serve the public. We're here to listen to their needs and concerns. Maybe that gives them an extra day in the month that they can come. Maybe they can't attend that one meeting. Maybe that splits up our agendas and it makes it easier and people can get there and get their business handled. And that's my opinion on it. And I can agree with Tez that maybe we can see if these changes are working and we can table it and come back to it in a month or 2.
And conceivably, we could give more than 3 minutes because we've rushed people with 3 minutes. We could go 5 minutes, we could go 7, and we did that at state board.
And
and
I
get
don't
sick
have
of
a
hearing it.
problem with them talking more. And we've only had that one time that we've gave people more minutes, but Mike Bones took the most minutes probably since I've been around.
And we
There's
asked
been a
for
few
space.
times.
Right. I mean, a few times, but
no one can predict the future.
right. But I would say that most of the time, 95% of the time of us running meetings over, it's us talking.
With
Like,
and I'm not going to shut up.
Well, I don't
so-
want you to shut up. I like when you talk most of the time, but I'm just saying.
That seems to be a jab every meeting goes.
I'm always on it. But no, I'm just saying, but I don't think that's what's holding the meeting. Like, I don't think that's making the meetings long. I think it's usually us, which I don't have a problem with that either. I'm just saying, like, I think we've made some changes. Why don't we see if the changes work before and then we need to go 2 meetings a month. Let's go.
So with the conversation I've heard, I would recommend that we table this to a date certain of May, the May meeting.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see if
And
it
that
works.
gives us also time to confirm Mr. Oxley's awareness that he's advised us.
Right. Because the last thing we want to do is come for 30 minutes 2 times a month. You know, you come for 30 minutes one time and then, you know.
One of the things I'd like to comment on is a public comment. And if you train on the Open Meetings Act, when a member of the public is more than welcome, obviously, we encourage it, we want it. But when a public comment is made, council nor me, and I'm guilty of it, I'm not saying I'm not, but we actually should make no comment.
Absolutely.
And if it's an issue that gets brought to your attention that needs addressed by policy of council, then it can be put on another agenda. But to get into a back and forth with someone making public comment, and it's hard not to sometimes. Sometimes it'll be a matter with my office that, you know, you haven't cleaned up this mess or done that. And, but that's not, and the reason it should not be discussed is Mrs. Smith that lives down the street has no way to know that's going to be discussed among council because it's not on the agenda. So that's one thing that would help tremendously.
So Tez, do you second my motion?
I do, yes.
All right.
And
You got something
well,
else?
I'll be
Go ahead.
quiet then.
You're fine.
All right, we have a motion and a second that we table the issue of semi-monthly council meetings until May's meeting, at which time we will review how the changes have been coming along in March and April and see if we need to revisit that issue again in May. Is that it?
Yeah, and Bill, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
Oh, you're
I agree
fine.
with you wholeheartedly with the whole count.
You're fine.
thing here.
All right,
No problem.
any more discussion?
His face didn't get red.
Hearing none, we
Yeah.
vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to. And move to number 9, recommendation of the Oak Hill Sanitary Board to appoint Jack Buda to the Oak Hill Sanitary Board.
The Oak Hill Sanitary Board brings forward to City Council a formal recommendation to appoint Mr. Jack Buda to the Oak Hill Sanitary Board.
So moved.
Second.
And properly moved and second that we appoint Jack Buda to the Sanitary Board. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed- Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0. Number 10, the general budget revision.
Demita, are you on the line?
I am.
Oh,
Would, do you have anything to discuss for the budget revision or want me to pull a document up or?
If I think it was in the packet for everyone's review. It looks like a lot of changes, but basically, the biggest change that I made in revenue was to increase the B&O. When we were doing the budget, we really didn't know where we were coming, what was going to happen with our B&O, and it actually has been, our collections have been very good. We've had some help from Datamax that collects some of that revenue for us. So I did raise that. And then in the various departments, I raised just expenses as they needed to be to match with where we are. And this is the mid-year budget revision. We'll do one more before the end of the year.
Demita, what's the bottom line figure for everything?
Well, it's $485,000. I raised income by that and expenditures by that.
I move we accept the recommendation.
A second.
Properly moved and seconded, we accept the general budget revision as presented by the city treasurer. Any discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0. Number 11, consideration to approve commemorative banners for veterans of the armed services. Mr. Hannibal.
Okay. This is an idea of the mayor, and we agree, or I agree, and Mr. Kirk agrees wholeheartedly. This is a project we would like to take on and aim for July. I have had numerous conversations with staff, how we're going to pull this off. Communications with the vendor that does these beautiful banners, and communication with our neighboring town, Fayetteville, that has a similar program, and learned lessons from them, and we're ready to go. And I'll talk about money briefly for a, gosh, I'm going to forget the dimensions. 24 by
48.
24 by 48 inch banner is would be offered for $60 to a sponsor that would like to have a family member or someone appear on a banner. We We could supply the brackets. They are $65 a piece or a pair. And we have 100 right now. I'm anticipating, I'm taking a wild guess and saying that we should get about 250 veterans.
I have 3 already.
Okay.
You have 100 brackets
100,
already.
we have 100 already, so that would, I'm guessing we'll need 150 more, but that's a guess.
Are these the same brackets that the Christmas lights hang on, or they're different?
Not the Christmas lights,
The
but there are
Christmas.
brackets that the banners you've seen in Oak Hill. that-
Yeah, yeah.
The like Christmas banners and the different banners in Oak Hill.
Mayor, I move we approve the commemorative banner proposal as presented by the city manager.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the commemorative banners for the veterans of the armed services of the United States. Ms. Tranabas, let me ask you this. Now, will there be a form
Yes, sir.
on the internet that people can fill out and submit a picture and the $60
We've got that handled.
taken care of? Okay.
We'll go to work on that tomorrow, and we'll have, of course, we'll do it for someone, but you can do it online. Submit the images, we'll scan them, we'll do all that, and it'll be a pretty painless situation for someone wanting it done, not that much information involved. And yeah.
Okay. And are you gonna set a deadline by the time they have to have them in?
What I need to have is 100 orders to get the pricing that we're receiving, so I don't think that'll be any problem. So, and then we can place subsequent orders.
And they'll be put up at Veterans Day and Memorial Day, or when?
I would like to put them up I'd like to put them up for the summer through Veterans
July.
Day in September.
July
Okay.
4th? That's what you're looking at?
I'm going to shoot for July 4th. Yes, sir.
Along with the flags,
We can put flags up.
or
Yes, sir.
just the?
Yes, sir. Now, the only thing we might, depending upon the number we get, we might have to get a little bit creative and utilize some residential streets, but we'll do that after,
Really?
Main Street and our commercial areas are full and around our parks and things like that. But we'll squeeze them in. And I've actually gone and looked and did a quick count. And I believe we can do this comfortably, and we're ready to go.
Mayor, move the previous question.
Yeah. Did you have something to say, Ms.?
No.
All right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to, 7-0.
One
Thank you.
other thing, Mayor, I want to compliment Tyler Bragg, put the photo that you see on the screen, and just strangely enough, he picked out a good-looking young Marine, much to my chagrin. But
That's
no, I'd say that teasingly. I admire the Marine Corps
question.
almost as well as the Army.
Question about the individual that pays the $60 and supplies a photo.
Supplies a
Yes.
photo. Yes, sir. There will be just a few rules. But
Okay.
And the other thing we discussed too, this will be, once this payment's made, these will be the property of the city of Oak Hill, so that we deem when they become faded, tattered, that kind of thing, that the sponsor will need to replace those, which I don't think will be any problem at all. Fedville's done it for 3 years and they haven't had any problems so far.
Bill, when you prepare that form, would you email it to us?
I will, and I think it's in your packet.
Oh, was it?
Yes, sir.
I don't get it.
I missed it too. I missed that.
Maybe it's not.
It probably is. I just
I
missed
didn't
it.
see it.
It
But
might,
anyway.
it may not be, but
Okay.
I'll get it to you.
If you really want to see how these really look in real life, if you're over towards White Sulphur Springs, there's where I found them, and they are beautifully done there for the city of White Sulphur. I don't know if it's not a place you drive to every day, but if you're in that area, check out White Sulphur and you'll see how nice, how big they are, how big the veteran's picture is on there. It's very, very nice. It looks very similar to that.
At the expense of cutting someone off and in acknowledgement of, we've talked about protocol, I made a motion to move the previous question.
I think
Thought we did.
we already voted.
Did we?
Yeah, we already voted.
Did we?
Yeah, 7-0.
It was 7-0.
So discussion was given an opportunity to hold discussion.
It's already been done.
Gotcha. Moving on to number 12.
The previous question. we
I'm
voted.
trying to help out.
I know.
Y'all want to talk all night.
We now move to number 12 after voting on number 11, and that is the addition of $5 to all fines paid to the City of Oak Hill Municipal Court for the purpose of funding the Fayette County Team Court. And first reading, Mr. Hannibas.
Yes, sir. And I had a short conversation. Chief Wiseman had a long conversation about the benefits of the teen court, and in the documents in your packet. And if you would like to hear more about it from Chief Wiseman, he had some more conversation, believes it's a worthwhile cause. And this is a alternative type of court for teens.
Yeah, you have team.
Should be teens,
But I'm
shouldn't it?
saying it right, but
Team, it's for teens.
TEEN.
Yeah, like teenage.
teen, yeah.
So is this coming from the circuit court?
Circuit court, one of the circuit judges oversees.
Right.
That was Judge Ewing. But it's a nationwide, or it's a statewide, I know that. I think it's nationwide program. That has been proven to be beneficial.
40 years ago, I tried to get the circuit judges to endorse this, Judge Hatcher, and they went, and I got the model out of Cleveland, Ohio. So I agree with the
We
chief.
finally got a judge on the list, I guess.
Good, good. So I move we approve the $5 fine to be paid to the City of Oak Hill Municipal Court for purpose of funding Fayette County Teen Court. First reading.
Second motion.
Property moved and second that we approve the $5 to be added to all fines paid to the City of Oak Hill to help fund the teen court. I have a question, and that is, who else contributes? Do other towns? Does the county commission?
The county commission contributes here in Fayette County. We are the first municipality to contribute. They're going after the other, I believe, 7 municipalities or 6. We are the first one to contribute as you're voting on.
Now, is this how they're entirely funded? Is through these contributions through fines?
They get some small grants, talking $500,000 here and there, but totally funded from the $5 fee back on to fines throughout the county.
All right. All right. We had a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we vote the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, no. The motion's agreed to 7-0 to move to number 13, resolution to approve and execute an agreement between the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Division of Highways, and the City of Oak Hill for the purpose of a lighting project on the White Oak Rail Trail. Mr. Hannibas.
Yes, sir. This is a pretty simple resolution. It's in your packet that basically says that the lighting project on the White Oak Rail Trail, that the City of Oak Hill supports that. We have grants for it, or a grant for it. And that's basically what it says. The City of Oak Hill desires to cooperate with the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Division of Highways in accomplishing the project. That's the bottom line of this resolution. And I have 3 copies here ready for the mayor to sign if you all so agree.
Oh, where will this lighting be from?
It'll
Where
be
to
on
where?
the parallel to the part of the rail trail is parallel to Virginia Street until the rail trail to the curve near the Pizza Hut where it crosses right that area of the rail trail.
Stop there.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution to execute the agreement with the
I'll
Department of
second.
Transportation.
Property moved and second. Any more discussion? When will it start? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure, Mayor, but I believe it'll be pretty soon.
All right.
I couldn't get that out of the state of West Virginia to a
Good luck.
specific
Right
date.
after the Virginia Street sidewalks.
Right, right. Mayor, here's the 3 resolutions if you'd like to sign
Okay.
those.
All right, we'll vote the motion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's agreed to 7-0. Moves us to number 14, Black History Month Proclamation, which we have done for the last 2 years or so to commemorate the contributions of the African-American community in the American historical experience. I have the proclamation here. I'm asking council, do you want me to read it or just have it attached to the minutes that I have signed it? But I'll read it if you want.
I think it'd be appropriate to attach it to the
Minutes.
minutes.
All right, anybody want me to read it? No one? I will if you want me to.
Thank you for drafting that,
You
Mayor.
want to read it? too?
Not really, but I will. I will, but I don't want anyone to say he didn't read it.
Mayor, I would like to make a 1-sentence comment. I think Saturday night before last, that when you had the lecture for Black History Month, I think you did an excellent job. You're a very good speaker, very interesting, and I enjoyed it very much being here during that lecture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hannibas.
Rambling sentence, but
I'm going to issue a proclamation honoring Mr. Hannibas at the next meeting. And one of these big green, I'll do one of these. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so this is a proclamation that the city of Oak Hill is going to recognize and support the idea of African American History Month, and for the month of February, which is in line with every other city or any other kind of governmental entity across the United States for Black History Month. All right, we now bring us to the future agenda items.
Mayor, I would ask unanimous consent that we return to council comments.
Oh, all right. Is any objection to any of that? No objection? All
I
right,
have a
Mr.
couple of comments more I'd like to make after I had time to think about it. and
All right.
after,
Go
We
ahead.
didn't appear to be rushing things,
All
so I was
right.
trying to cooperate.
All right.
Let me say the Municipal League Conference was exceptional. It was very worthwhile. We heard about the expenditures of federal monies, unlike what we heard that night, which gave us some insight to that. They also talked about annexation and some of the changes to that. And I would also say that had you, if you were there, you understand how recognized and accepted our city manager is and our city treasurer. They are highly respected across this state. And that was very clear and very well acknowledged. So I would compliment them. And like I said, as far as the use of monies, it's well worth your time, efforts, energy, absence to attend these. It's a very good organization. Tom Moxley's been a member for a long time, and he too is highly recognized and respected by this group. What's that? I heard it everywhere I went. That's all I heard was Tom Moxley, Tom Moxley,
As soon as you said, where you from, Oak Hill? Oh, you
Yeah.
had Tom.
and the
Don't
city
you know
manager and
Tom?
Demita. So
You have to work with Tom.
again, that I think that's very complimentary of the persons who work here. And I've said time and time again, in 6 months, I have learned much more about the people and the secretaries and people who occupy this office. And I have a different reflection on the productivity of these people here, to the chief, to Day, to all those persons. The other comment I have is the Veterans Memorial, Tom. Where are we with that, or can we expect something soon?
I'm a little bit, I've got responses from Calvin Kidd. Couple emails ago, Mark Hurt, the chairman, suggested we take a look at Highline Cemetery. First of all, it's not appropriate. Secondly, I don't want to have to deal with a private entity. Thirdly, it doesn't drain well there. So we know that. And so I suggested that we get our stuff together and make a recommendation to accept the Jones property if they're still willing. I laid out the dimensions to them and everything. So hopefully Mark will call a meeting or we can do it over the phone.
And
I just want to move forward.
That's why I'm asking. I like to keep it on the burner and while
Yeah,
they were
it's-
interested.
it's
while we-
been too long.
Yeah, so, and I think Tyler gave us some maps or something.
Yes, he
Maybe
did.
Dreaming all this.
Yeah.
but- So I just asked that maybe just,
I'll
maybe
see if
get
I
Mark
can
on the ball.
light a match.
Let's see. That's it.
Thank you
Not
for
too
your
bad.
comments, Mr. Perry. And the municipal league is important to City of Oak Hill and to me. Good organization. Thank you.
Future agenda items. Hearing none. And the city, and with the business of the city completed for tonight, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Clear that.
Right.
See there, I can be quick.
There you go, bud. You got iron 50 minutes.
This is very nicely done. He spoke very
Oh.
highly of the whole project.
I started listening to it.
All.
We'll get it.
It's the way.
Yeah, give me just a few days to get it put together.
I still don't, I wish I'd have copied it.
Blow these walls down. Blow the walls down.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, 'cause see,